WFLA. The following is a paid program. The views expressed are those of the host and callers and not those of News Radio 102.5, its management, or advertisers.
Welcome to You Have Power Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark. You Have Power is your opportunity to get answers to your legal questions. To be a part of today's program, call 407-916-674-1025 or toll free at 855-545-1025. The lines are now open. But now, here's your host, Orlando's drive time attorney, Justin Clark.
Well. How are you tonight? Thanks for spending a little time with me. My name is Justin Clark. If you have any questions tonight about any of your legal issues, the phone number right here. We are live at 407-916-5400. If you have a legal question that you do not want to ask me on the air, you don't want to air your dirty laundry, I completely understand. We have lawyers standing by. The phone number at the law firm is 321-282-1055. The website for the law firm with plenty of answers to your legal questions is www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. You can also watch the show live on Facebook, possibly.
More or less.
At ATTY Justin Clark. Follow me on Twitter at ATTY Justin Clark. To my left, as always, my very professional co-host, Tom Benson. Tom, how are you, sir? Happy Friday.
I am doing fine. This streaming internet thing is a work in progress.
An absolute disaster.
Well, no, not entirely. Last time we tried this 2 weeks ago, we had no audio for phone calls.
Well,
now we should have all the audio.
Yeah, we'll see.
And now we just have to get the camera positioned in the future that you can see more of the studio, but right now you can see Justin just fine.
And by camera, he means my iPhone, okay, ladies and gentlemen. And I promise we are going to start the show on a regular TV channel again soon, but we are in a temporary studio here. And we can't film the TV show in here. So we're going to start, hopefully the beginning of next year, we will be airing Behind the Law on local television stations near you. And on the other side of the glass, answering your calls and pushing all the buttons, is my good friend Rob Galbraith. Rob, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. You look marvelous on Facebook Live.
Thanks for being here as always.
You can see him all right?
Yeah, I can see him fine. Looks really good. Yep.
Whatever.
Clear. Nice skin. Nice hair.
Nice hair.
Yeah.
What do you think about radio guys these days? They're all going to the earpiece, not the actual headphones. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a big headphone guy myself. I don't know. What do you think? You're earpiece guy or headphone guy?
I think if you have a TV show or your radio show that's on TV, you can use the headphones. Like, sports guys do that. I think that's looks cool, like Rich Eisen, something like that.
I totally disagree because I think if you're going to do a radio show on TV, the whole point is it's a radio show on television. So, they can come in wearing T-shirts because it's on the radio. It's not on TV. But yet you're going to wear an earpiece to make it look like it's a TV show. I don't understand. You got to make up your mind.
The listeners want to see what goes on behind the scenes, and this allows it to happen.
Well, I just believe, look, if you're going to do the Dan Patrick radio show on TV, you either have to wear a suit and an earpiece or regular radio headphones and your T-shirt. Well, it's one of the. You can't have it both ways. That's just how it works.
That's the big time.
So tonight we have a lot of stuff to talk about, really. A lot of things to get through and some things we haven't talked about on this show in quite a while.
Good.
Because, the foreclosure crisis is really almost in the past. Although, again, in Florida being in the epicenter of the foreclosure crisis, we still have tons and tons of foreclosure cases to get through. Mm-hmm. And I have a ton of clients who are still going through this bad time in their life, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their home. The bank told them not to pay, and they're trying to get back on track. So we're going to talk about a lot of different ways to deal with your housing issue, whether it's a short sale or a loan modification, or even if you're having an issue with that homeowners association and they're trying to foreclose on you. We're going to talk about all of those issues right here on Behind the Law. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and jump on the line, 407-916-5400. Attorney standing by at the firm at 321-282-1055. The website, www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com.
And we must mention that if you do want to give a try on this internet streaming thing, you have to go to attorneys Justin R. Clark and Associates on Facebook. So do Facebook /
ATTY Justin Clark. Right?
There you go. Yeah.
See, I don't even know where to tell you to go to. I'm a terrible businessman, marketer, because I don't even know where to tell you to go. But to me, it looks like ATTY Justin Clark. You can watch the show live on Facebook. So you remember, guys, maybe, honestly, a year ago, this Periscope thing popped up? You've heard of Periscope, right, Rob?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Periscope, yeah.
But then Facebook was like, well, we should just do that ourselves, right? Yeah. And then Periscope is obsolete now? Or did Facebook buy them? What happened here?
I don't think I'm not sure about that.
I think Facebook just took over. I mean, Periscope just went away once Facebook.
Well, the thing is with Facebook, they have a lot more users than Periscope.
I would say so. You mean
know?
like 20 billion to 1?
Exactly. And I think Periscope might be more of a youth, young kids type stuff.
Those kids with their Periscope.
Yeah, I tell you, I remember the days.
All right, so let's say you're going through a foreclosure case, okay? Or even let's just say you're underwater on your home, you don't know what to do. You've heard the word short sale or the term short sale.
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard it, right? Especially here in Florida, we've heard short sale.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit of a bad ring to it because short sales are really just the opposite of that. They're long sales. They take a long time. They take a lot of work. But let me tell you what a short sale really is. A short sale is when you own a home.
Mm-hmm.
And you owe, let's say, $300,000 on your home. Yet said home is only worth $250,000.
Ouch.
So you can either do one of two things. You can sell the house for $250,000, and then you chip in the extra $50,000 cash, and that's that would be a regular traditional sale, but you're having to come out of pocket $50,000.
Yeah.
Right. Or you can do what's called a short sale, and a short sale, we're asking the bank to waive the deficiency amount. Go ahead, Tom, if you want to. You waive the deficiency. So we're basically selling the home to someone else. It's like a regular sale. You put it on the real estate market. You hire a realtor. You go through that entire process. But now I'm going to say, look, bank, I owe $300,000. It's only worth $250,000. And now after I pay the realtor and the closing cost, bank's only going to get $220,000. So Bank of America or Wells Fargo, whoever it is, I'm asking you to please waive the deficiency against me. Meaning, I want something in writing before I go to this closing that says you can never come after me for the difference in what I owe and what we get for the sale of this home. And that's really a short sale in a nutshell. And they're very difficult. They take a lot of time. I tell my clients to prepare for at least 4 months. I mean, almost minimum 4 months to get this short sale completed. It's going to take a lot of time. Because it's not like a traditional sale. I mean, I have to put the house on the market, get an offer from someone, but what really takes the longest time is I now have to get the bank to agree to the sale. So I've got to send in my clients all their documents, their tax returns, their bank statements, their pay stubs, and then the bank has to go get an appraisal done or a BPO, a broker's price opinion. And these banks are overwhelmed, and they're incredibly slow. So it takes a very, very long time. But at the end of the day, my job is to make sure my client does not have a deficiency against them, meaning that the bank can never pursue them for the difference in what the house is worth and what it's sold for. And that really is the whole meaning of a short sale. But it's not that simple. There are a lot of different things that become involved in a short sale. And if you're going through one or if you've thought about going through one, listen up, because I'm going to tell you exactly what's really going on out there on the ground. So number one, if you go through a short sale, you're going to have the realtor or whoever you're talking, your neighbor's going to tell you about it. They're going to say, well, you're going to get taxed on the difference. So if the bank does waive the deficiency against you, you're going to get taxed on it. Like, what? What do you mean? So essentially, when you do a short sale, you're going to get a 1099 for the amount that the bank waives. Meaning, if you owe $300,000, the bank ends up with $250,000, they're going to send you a 1099 for $50,000. But don't get that scared. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Don't get that nervous, but you will get the 1099-C. The 1099-C means cancellation of debt. But the beautiful part about this is the Mortgage Debt Relief Act of 2007 says you do not pay taxes on this forgiven debt on a primary home. So if you're doing it for your primary home, you're not going to have to worry about taxation. And even if it's not your primary home, if you can show that you're insolvent, you do not pay taxes on this forgiven debt. So there are so many ways around the taxation problem. I don't want you to let that part of it make you so nervous that you continue paying for this mortgage that you can't afford, or maybe you have a transfer to North Carolina or Tennessee. I don't want you to keep paying on this house that you can't afford, because there are ways out. There are ways to get out from under this debt that you really can't afford. So please don't listen to what your neighbor says or the real estate agent who might not know what's going on when they say, oh, you're going to pay taxes, you're going to get a 1099. Well, that's true. You are going to get a 1099. But there are many ways around having to pay the taxes on that 1099. Namely, the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act of 2007. Or number 2, insolvency. And what that means is you are going to get the 1099. But if you file the appropriate forms, you pay no taxes whatsoever on this forgiven debt. So don't let the tax problem prevent you from getting rid of your real house and mortgage problem. All right? So you need to talk to someone like me who does this on a daily basis to figure out if you're going to be able to get around it or not. Because I agree. I mean, if you're going to get stuck with $50,000 in taxes through the IRS, I'd rather owe Bank of America $50,000 than the IRS. So you need to know what your rights are, and you need to know what you are going to get saddled with afterwards before you make this decision. And that's what we're here for. Again, 407-916-5400. Justin Clark here with you. 321-282-1055 at the law firm. The website, www.youhavepower.com. So to make things better, even on this short sale thing, Rob. So they're going to wipe away the deficiency. You're not going to pay taxes on it. And then the banks are also offering a program called HAFA. H-A-F-A. Justin, what is HAFA? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean by HAFA? Well, HAFA is a program, a government program, that actually gives you moving expenses to get out of this house. So you own the house. You're underwater. You got transferred to North Carolina. You want to get rid of it. But you can't do a regular sale because you're underwater. You know? You're not going to make a profit. And in fact, you're going to have to stroke a check to sell it regularly. So you're going to have to do a short sale. Now, these banks and the government have come up with a program to entice people to go through the short sale process, and they're offering up to $30,000 through HAFA to go through with the short sale. And what does that mean? It means there are times where I've had clients literally sell their home through a short sale, get the deficiency waived, have no tax problems whatsoever, and leave the closing with the check for $30,000. 30000.
Wow.
Which is incredible. That's a lot of money.
It is.
That's a lot of money for nothing, essentially, right? Now, most of the time, I do not see checks for $30,000. I just don't. But I see checks for 10 all the time. I certainly see checks for 5 and 3 all the time.
That's great.
And now you're out. Now you can start rebuilding your credit. You can move on with your life. You can move to Washington or wherever you're getting transferred to.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to worry about being saddled with this debt here in Orlando on a house that is simply underwater.
Plus, you get some relocation dough.
And then again, you get some reload dough. You're going to pay for that U-Haul truck or whatever it is. So this is a short sale. Short sales are fantastic. If you find yourself underwater and you're not sure that you want to keep that house, you need to look at a short sale as a very viable option for what you're going to do. A few other things we need to talk about when it comes to short sales. Number one, they need to be arm's length. What do I mean by arm's length? What I mean by that is you can't sell it to your mommy and then buy it back later, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, oh, I'm underwater on this house. Dad, can you come buy this for me and get a mortgage and I'll buy it back a year later? You can't do it.
No, you can't.
And you can understand the bank's perspective on this. Yeah. If they do that and let everyone do that, there will be a domino effect, and everyone's going to do a short sale to try to lower the principal balance in their house by selling it to mommy or daddy or son or daughter, and they don't want that. So you're going to have to sign a form that says this is an arm's length transaction, meaning there's no conspiracy going on here.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to buy this thing back. I don't have any sort of side deal.
No funny business.
And if you sign this thing and you do that, there could be criminal penalties. So you want to be very careful that this is an arm's length transaction if you're going to do the short sale. Now, how do I price a short sale? People ask me all the time, how am I going to figure out what price to put on this house, right? Because normally, let's say you own a house, Tom, there's no mortgage on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're the owner. You're going to figure out what you want to price it at. You're going to figure out what your real estate commission is and exactly how much you want to net out of it, right? That's how a normal seller figures out how to price a house. But in a short sale, you're not getting anything, so to speak. So it's really the bank has to approve a price, but they don't approve the price before. This is the question I get all the time. So in a short sale, you literally go out and hire a realtor or a lawyer like me, and we determine the price. And how do we determine the price? We try to list it at market value. We don't want to go too low because then we're going to waste months and months dealing with the bank with an offer that they're not going to accept anyway. So we really want to try to get market value for the homes. Maybe a little bit less because it's a short sale, and oftentimes it's investors buying short sales. But you want to try to stick very, very close to market value. But this is not something you do in advance with the bank. You literally set the price yourself with the realtor. You're going to listen to my advice or the realtor's advice and figure out where we should list the house price-wise. It's not like you call Bank of America and say, yo, bank, can I do $220 on this thing? You've got to go through the entire process. You list the house with the realtor. They put it on MLS. You get an offer. We send the offer over to the title company. I get all of your financial documents. I get your tax returns, your pay stubs, your bank statements, and get the whole entire packet. And then we send it to the bank.
Yeah.
And that's when the bank really opens a short sale file over there. Nothing happens before. It's not like we call and say, yo, we're going to do a short sale. Cool. It's not like that. We submit the entire packet once we get an offer to the bank, and that's when the bank's process really starts rolling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's not something that happens prior. And then oftentimes what we have seen is the bank will come back and counter the buyer. So if the buyer offers $200, maybe the bank thinks it's worth $250. So the bank will come back and say, we approve your short sale if the buyer comes up to $250.
Mm.
So then there's this whole other negotiation going on between now bank and buyer that we really don't even know. There's a whole other negotiation. So this process, I'm telling you, on average is about 9 months. Wow. It's a long process. Now, I know a lot of realtors listen to my show, and you guys like to get them done faster, and you're saying I'm crazy for saying 9 months. But on average, the short sale lasts about 9 months. From thought until closing, you're looking at about 9 months.
But they used to be much longer.
A short sale? About 9 months is about average. You're thinking about a foreclosure used to take longer. A short sale is about 9 months. But here's another thing about short sales that you need to know. If you're going through a short sale and you're already in foreclosure, meaning you haven't paid your payment in a while,
mm-hmm.
and the bank's already filed suit against you, this foreclosure case, foreclosures are going faster. So in the past, can we just be honest for a minute? So oftentimes clients will come into my office and say, I want to do a short sale, but I'm living for free. I want it to take as long as it possibly can because I want to save some money.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And that's really how it goes down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. That's what happens. They say, I want it to take a long, long time. Does that make sense?
It
Do you
does,
understand
yeah.
what they're saying?
I get it.
From their standpoint. I get it.
From their
you're trying
standpoint,
to save some money because you're going to have to pay rent for the next couple of years somewhere, and then you can buy again. I understand. So they want it to take a long time. And in the past, these foreclosures were taking 4 and 5 years to get through. Mm-hmm. But now the foreclosures are going quite a bit faster than they did in the past. So we have to be a little bit more cognizant of starting the short sale earlier than we used to. We would start the short sale well into the foreclosure case. Now I tell people, if they've already filed the foreclosure lawsuit, it's probably time to go ahead and start the short sale process. And again, you might have heard about the fast-track foreclosure laws that were passed over the last few years.
Yeah.
They did absolutely nothing to the foreclosure cases in this state at all. Nothing. The fast-track foreclosure bill did not make one case go faster than the others. What did is there was a lot of pressure from the state on our local judges to get rid of foreclosure cases.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, when judges would cancel foreclosure sale dates or give us more time to finish the short sale or the loan mod, they would let us do it. Now they're saying, sorry, too bad. We're getting pressure that we need to get these cases off of our docket.
Yeah.
The legislator's not giving us any money to hire additional senior judges. We want these cases off of our docket. Now that is what has sped up the foreclosure cases in this state. Make no mistake. It is not any sort of bill that was passed in Tallahassee. It was just pressure on our local judges to get rid of their foreclosure docket. That's what's going on. So if you're working on a short sale, don't drag your feet for too long because you don't want to get the foreclosure to go through because now you're going to be saddled with this deficiency judgment or at least the ability for the bank to sue you for a deficiency judgment. And here's what I've learned. I mean, the judgment alone is bad enough. That's bad enough. But most people who have gone through a foreclosure want to get back in the real estate market soon. They want to buy a house soon. Whereas if you finish the short sale, the clock on your credit getting better starts ticking the day you close on that short sale. Day 1, day 2, day 3, the clock is ticking on your credit getting better to where you can go buy a new house. If you go to foreclosure and the bank decides they want to pursue you for a deficiency judgment, which is the difference in what you owed them versus the value of the home on the date of foreclosure auction, your credit's not getting better. Your credit continues to get worse while they pursue you for this deficiency judgment. So it's like putting salt in the wound, so to speak. Now they're pursuing you for the deficiency, and your credit's not getting better. There's no seasoning period going on, as we call it. You'd have been better off just filing bankruptcy 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because if you file bankruptcy, the seasoning period begins the day you get the discharge. So I'm saying, I know you're going to have to weigh out, okay, do I want to live for free longer, or do I want to get this short sale completed so I could rebuild my credit and not have to worry about a deficiency? Err on the side of getting the short sale completed. Don't drag your feet too long. And again, if you have any questions about this, 407-916-5400. Lawyer standing by at the firm, 321-282-1055. There are no closing costs either. So make no mistake, when you go sign those papers with the realtor saying, okay, here's the listing agreement, whatever, realtor, you can represent me, the bank pays these closing costs. They pay the real estate commission.
Wow.
They pay the closing costs. So it's not like you're going to have to pay the 6%.
Yeah.
If you do a short sale, you are paying nothing. You're not paying the closing costs. You're not paying the taxes and the recording fees. That's all coming out of the net to the bank. So if the offer is $250 on the house, the bank's not getting $250. They're getting $250 minus 6% for the realtor.
Got it.
And then minus another $5,000 or whatever for the title company to actually do the closing. And this is not coming out of your pocket. You are not stroking any checks for this. So again, if you're needing to get rid of a home and you don't want to file bankruptcy, short sale is the only way to go. Now, Tom, you'll hear a little rumor sometimes about deed in lieu of foreclosure. Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
A deed in lieu of foreclosure. People ask me about it all the time.
On this attorney show that I listen to Friday nights at 6.
Oh, yeah? Who is that? One of my competitors? So a deed in lieu of foreclosure is very similar to a short sale, but very different as well. It's the same concept. It's, okay, I'm getting rid of this home and not having to worry about any sort of deficiency against me. But when a deed in lieu of foreclosure, think about it. It's a deed in lieu of foreclosure. It means you're deeding the house back to the bank and saying, hey, bank, you come get this old rag here, and I want done with it. But you need to waive the deficiency against me. So it's the same idea. We're trying to get the deficiency waived where your credit's going to start getting better as soon as it's done without any further damage to you. That's a deed in lieu of foreclosure. What I have found is a short sale oftentimes is a little bit better for your credit. And if you go through a deed in lieu, they make it sound really easy, and it's not. You've got to go through the same entire nightmare of giving them all your financial documents, your tax returns. They lose everything. It's the same disaster zone that a loan mod or a short sale is, but probably maybe just a little bit better for them. My recommendation is short sale, because oftentimes they'll make you go through the short sale process before they ever even offer you a deed in lieu. So I feel like short sale is the way to go, but a deed in lieu is certainly
a backup plan.
Better than a foreclosure. Now, let me answer one more question for you about short sales. Let's say you're still current on your mortgage, but you just can't keep paying.
Right.
There's no way I can continue paying my mortgage as it is now. I need to do a short sale. My credit's good. I pay all my bills, but I know for a fact I cannot continue to pay this mortgage. What kind of credit hit am I going to take? I get that question all the time. And a very valid question. And there's no real solid answer, but I can tell you this. The better your credit is before you start, the more of a hit you're going to take.
Is that right?
So if you start at 800 and you decide to stop paying your mortgage and go through a short sale, you're probably going to lose a couple hundred points. If you start at 600 and go through a short sale, you're probably going to lose about 50 points.
Why is that?
Just when you're that high up and you have a hit like that, it's going to go down faster. So it's one of those things. You're going to lose between, let's say, 50 and 200 points to go through this short sale process. But the difference is, many times, people who come in to do a short sale with me, they're already not paying their mortgage. Their credit's already in the tank a little bit, and it's only going to help their credit. And it's going to help their credit because they're going to put an end to this mortgage crisis, and then as soon as the short sale's over, again, the credit's going to start skyrocketing. It's going to go up like crazy. And I would also say, if you have a lot of other debt, let's say you have a ton of Amex, but you know you don't want to file bankruptcy, but you're not paying your mortgage. Just because your credit is taking a hit on the mortgage doesn't mean you should stop paying everything, because then your credit's going to go down more. If you're going to file bankruptcy, fine. And we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. If you're going to file bankruptcy, that's fine. But if you're just going to do a short sale, keep paying everything else. My name is Justin Clark, ladies and gentlemen. 407-916-5400. A lot of show ahead. Stick right here with me on News Radio 102.5.
Weather, traffic, News Radio 102.5 WFLA.
Mike Pence will never be afraid to speak the name of our enemy.
The latest news.
2 U.S. citizens who were killed in the attack in Nice.
Anti-police protesters descending on Cleveland.
On News Radio 102.5.
In the WFLA News Center, I'm Alan McBride, News Radio 102.5 WFLA. This news brought to you by Trustco Bank, Florida's hometown bank. In Germany, at least 9 people, including an alleged gunman, may be dead in the aftermath of a shooting at a McDonald's restaurant at a mall in Munich. At least one account of the alleged shooter involved a confrontation between that person and someone videotaping him with a mobile phone. In the profanity-laced exchange, the possible shooter can be heard declaring he's a German, born in a low-income district. It looks like Crane's Roost in Altamont Springs is a Pokestop. A good number of people spend the day catching the virtual critters, and city leaders say they're glad to have them. The issues come late at night when the park is supposed to close down. Some of the intrepid hunters are trampling landscaping. Others have left their manners at home. This has generated some complaints, so the city is working to settle matters. All day, every day, news, weather, and traffic on News Radio 102.5 WFLA. I'm Alan McBride.
We'll expect delays heading south on Florida's Turnpike. We've got a wreck here at OBT's. It's still taking up the left lane. We're also seeing a slow ride eastbound on the 408 from a crash block in the left lane at State Road 436. Eastbound I-4 still very slow near the attractions between State Roads 536 and 535. Westbound also busy between Conroy Road and the Turnpike. If you see traffic problems, call the Safe Touch Security Tip Line at 866-676-8477 from the Traffic Center on Page Carrera.
This report is brought to you by John Deere and Nortrax.
When you need tough construction or contractor equipment, turn to John Deere and Nortrax. Find your solution in a new John Deere skid steer, track loader, or excavator. Find the location nearest you at Nortrax.com.
Keeping you ahead of the storm with Operation Storm Watch with the statewide resources of the Florida News Network, AccuWeather, and the National Hurricane Center. News Radio 102.5 will keep you up to date on the tropics when the next storm rears its ugly head. Operation Storm Watch, only on News Radio 102.5 WFLA.
Here's your News Radio 102.5 exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Clear skies Friday night, low 71 to 76. Saturday and Sunday, times of clouds and sunshine. Look for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, but mainly dry near the coast. High 91 to 95 on Saturday, and Sunday 90 to 93. News, weather, and traffic every 10 minutes in the morning. I'm Chuck Ellis, News Radio 102.5 WFLA.
This report is brought to you by John Deere and Nortrax.
When you need tough construction or contractor equipment, turn to John Deere and Nortrax. Find your solution in a new John Deere skid steer, track loader, or excavator. Find the location nearest you at Nortrax.com.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks resumed their winning ways. The key indexes posted modest gains in Friday trading. Brad McMillan at Commonwealth Financial Network says stocks have been staging a relief rally in the month since the Brexit vote in the UK.
Since then, we've actually seen U.S. economic indicators start to move higher and do better. So I think people were looking at it and saying, well, the fear was overdone, and maybe we need to move back into the market.
The Dow Jones Industrials rose 53 points to 18,570. The Nasdaq closed 26 points higher. The S&P 500 gained nearly 10 points and settled at a record high. General Electric reported an adjusted second quarter profit that topped analyst estimates. Strong contributions from the power, aviation, and healthcare businesses offset weaker performances at GE's oil, gas, and transportation units. A merger was announced in the cosmetics industry. L'Oreal is buying IT Cosmetics for $1.2 billion. Jeff Bellinger, Bloomberg Radio.
Summer is a great time for sightseeing, but all that driving can lead to spills and messes, leaving not-so-good sights inside your vehicle. I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. Sand, dirt, and spills in your car, truck, or SUV can ruin your vehicle's carpet. American-made from the highest quality materials and, of course, laser-measured, WeatherTech floor liners and cargo liners are designed to perfectly fit your vehicle. To learn more about our full line of automotive accessories, go to WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats.
WFLA is available everywhere you want to listen on our free iHeartRadio app. Download it now.
You're listening to You Have Power Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark. For personalized help with your legal issues, visit youhavepower.com or call 321-282-1055. Now, back in studio with more expert legal advice, here's Justin Clark.
Welcome back to the show, and thank you for listening on a fantastic Friday night here in Central Florida. If you have any legal questions, my name is Justin Clark, and the phone number right here in the studio live with Tom Benson is 407-916-5400. Off the air, if you want to talk to a lawyer, I have lawyers standing by at the firm right across the street at 321-282-1055. The website is www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. Also streaming live on Facebook at ATTY Justin Clark. We're not upside down anymore. I think you can see us. I'm not as fat as I look on that stream.
Tom isn't as scary as he looks either.
I'm going to probably wear a different shirt next week. I promise I shave occasionally. You just can't tell it tonight.
You know, it goes to our head once we start asking for pancake makeup or something. You know?
Anyway, thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you listening. We're talking about short sales, loan modifications, and foreclosure. So if you've had any issues with your house, you know who you are. We've been through it all. Most of us have been through something like that when it comes to our house because, look, we live in the epicenter of the housing crisis in the world.
Sure.
We really do.
They say the sand states. That would be Nevada, Phoenix, and Florida.
I mean, the last time I checked, Phoenix was a city, but no one's keeping score at home. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hear you.
Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona.
Oh, Arizona.
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm sorry, Arizona.
No, you're right. It seems like it's the places that people want to move had the biggest housing collapses.
Yeah.
Because those states are built and based on real estate and the construction industry. And again, when they had that meeting in New York City, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and shutting down all these hedge funds and things like that, it affected states like us because there was no money to lend. So the real estate market dried up. There was no money for construction. There was no lending going on whatsoever. Everyone lost their job. We can't pay our bills, right?
Tough.
I mean, that's what happened. Yeah. The crisis happened in Manhattan, but we were the ones that felt it. I don't think they even really felt it in Manhattan, but we certainly felt it here. And I get so mad when I hear people criticize what I do for a living, especially what I did for a living for those last 10 years, helping people through this nightmare. They're like, well, they should have paid their bills. I get pissed off, Tom, to be honest with you. I can't help but say I get very upset. Do you understand how many families? I would meet 10 families a day in my office going through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't by choice. I mean, these guys weren't out at Ruth's Chris every night. I mean, they were people like me who had little kids at home. I had a birthday on Saturday.
Yes, you did.
To say. So
the little one is what, 4 now?
I don't mean to. So she actually turned 4 yesterday.
That's great.
But this past Saturday, we had a whole birthday party, a pool party, right? And Pilar wanted to invite real life Anna and Elsa. Rob, get involved in this conversation, please, because I need some support.
From Frozen.
From Frozen. Yes. And this is, so Sophia, happy birthday. But she said, I have to say happy birthday yesterday because it's not today, Dad. Okay, so happy birthday yesterday, Sophia. But anyway, real life Anna and Elsa. What do I mean by real life Anna and Elsa? I mean, two real girls
dressed
who
up,
look and dress just like Anna and Elsa.
The whole character.
They have mom and dad. They have this whole Winnebago thing that they travel around, and this is not cheap either.
Are they local people?
They live in Volusia County or something. They were fantastic, by the way, but I was totally anti. I say absolutely not. We're not doing it. And it wasn't about the money.
It's like a full play. They do the whole thing.
They do the whole shebang, man. I was totally against this, and I was like, no. Of course I lose. Of course they're coming. I mean, that's fine.
What are you, crazy, Dad?
I mean, it was pretty impressive, I would say. Mm-hmm. Anna and Elsa in real life come to my house for a party.
And do they invite the kids at the party or your daughter in on the?
They do the whole face painting. They do the singing, and they have all these backdrops. It was crazy.
That's cool.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Not one of those knockoff Frozens, though, right? They actually can say the word frozen.
They can. Well, look, I'm not sure that they can, but they do.
Copyright, isn't it?
They've probably gotten a letter or two here and there, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. They were great. But anyway, happy birthday, Sophia. I almost forgot to say.
I bet it made her a day.
Didn't make her day.
She
loved it.
Best thing that happened to her in her entire young life.
All right, but I need some advice on this one. So I'm not a very good gift wrapper.
Okay.
And apparently Toys R Us only does gift wrapping during the holidays.
You're kidding.
So I went to buy a gift yesterday after work, and I was like, where's the gift wrapping section? They're like, we don't do gift wrapping, sir. I just thought they did it all year, but apparently I was wrong. So anyway, and it was just me. So I bought these 2 big gifts for her, and I put them in my trunk, and I get home, and she's like, Daddy, it's my birthday. I was like, oh, yeah, happy birthday. Well, I've got a surprise for you in the car. And so I gave her my keys to open the trunk, and I was like, surprise. That's okay, right?
Sure.
You don't have to wrap them, do you?
No.
What do you think, Rob? I should have wrapped it.
Look in the trunk for your present.
Right.
It's a dead body in there or something.
I mean, do you think you have to
Golf
wrap?
clubs.
Do you think you have to wrap or no?
No.
Well, it's something at Christmas. We don't wrap our Christmas gifts. We set it all up after the kids go to bed, and they wake up, and the gifts are already open, bike's already made, everything already done, so they just go and play. So, yeah, we don't wrap our Christmas gifts.
Well, I definitely didn't wrap these 2, but she seemed to like them very much, so whatever. I'm not a good rapper. I don't have any practice.
When you mention Toys R Us, it reminds me of the other store that's called, I think it's Babies R Us. You ever go in there?
Yeah.
The place
about
smells
4
like
years ago.
Smells like talcum powder.
What is that?
Well, they spray it a mist of some kind that has that
really?
Smell just to get you in the baby mood, I guess.
Better than other baby smells, I'm sure.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah,
disgusting. Well, let's say you do have a baby. You have a baby and you want to save this home. You've been through a tough time, and you're trying to save the home because you have a kid, you have a baby. They walk to school. School's going to start here in 3 weeks or so, and you want to save it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to save your home, even if you're underwater, and you want to save your home. That is a very rational, normal feeling. A lot of people want to get rid of it, like via short sale, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
But a lot of people want to save their home.
Absolutely.
There's an emotional attachment to this house. So how do we save it? What do we do?
Little Johnny doesn't want to leave his school and all his friends, and
you're just comfortable there.
Yeah.
Moving is going to cost you $3,000 anyway.
Absolutely.
Then if you're going to go rent something, you're going to have to pay first month, last month, then you're just happy in this house. Even if you're a little underwater. If you can get this mortgage payment down to a 2 or 3% interest rate, even if you're underwater, you're going to be paying less for your mortgage monthly than you would renting the same home down the street.
Sure.
And this is your home. This is your family's home. This is a roof over your head, and you want to save it. There are plenty of ways to save it. And the number one way, and you've heard about it, is a loan modification. Now, what is a loan modification? Well, let me dispel this one myth right away, because people come in and ask me all the time. They say, well, I want to do a HARP. Or I want to do a HAMP. Let me tell you the difference in HAMP and HARP. HARP is a refinance program. It's a refinance program that says you don't have to get an appraisal. So that means new money's coming in to pay off the mortgage you have now. A new bank's going to come in and pay off the existing mortgage and give you a whole new mortgage.
Right.
But you don't have to get an appraisal, which what that really means is you can do it if you're underwater.
Yeah,
because you don't have to get an appraisal. So if you're underwater, you can still do the HARP refi, but you have to be current on your mortgage to qualify for HARP.
And you can only use it once in your lifetime, right?
And you can only do it if you can prove you can qualify. So you've got to show that you're making enough money to qualify for this new mortgage, whatever it's going to be. But it's new money. It's a refi. It's new money coming in to pay off the old money. Now, HAMP, I know it sounds similar, but it's completely different. HAMP is a modification. It's the Home Affordable Modification Program, and that's not new money coming in. That is us changing the existing mortgage that you have, modifying it. We're doing a loan modification, the Home Affordable Modification Program. Now, this is the one that we talk about that says we want your payment to be 31% of your gross monthly income. So think about it right now. Figure out what you make per month and then multiply it by 0.31. And that is what your payment for your mortgage should be, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Right.
And if you are paying more than that, you need to look at potentially doing a modification.
I would suspect financial institutions would rather do a refi as opposed to a modification, right?
They would. Yes, they would.
And if that's the case, how do you lay out your claim for a modification?
Because under the HAMP program, they are required to look at you for a modification, mini lenders.
Got it.
Private lenders, not as much, but they oftentimes will.
Mm-hmm.
But under this government bailout, you remember hearing about the bailout or whatever,
Sure.
They're required to review you for the HAMP modification.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. They're going to screw it up. They're going to lose your paperwork. They're going to make your life miserable. But if you stick with it, if the numbers add up, you're going to get a modification.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you're paying more than 31% of your gross monthly income, you need to look at that. You need to look at a refi or a modification. A modification, certainly, if you're not paying your mortgage currently, or if you are current, you need to look at a HARP. But even if you're current, you can still do a modification sometimes as well.
Right.
The only problem is if you're current, they don't really want to work with you because you're already paying them the too high interest rate as it is.
Sure.
So what is the benefit to them to lower your rate?
Right.
But they can go all the way down to a 2%, ladies and gentlemen, a 2% interest rate. So if you're at 6 or 7 and they go down to 2%, do you know what that's going to do to your monthly payment?
Big difference.
It's going to cut it in half. It's going to cut it by maybe even more than half,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to free up a lot of extra income for you and your family monthly to live on. Maybe take a trip. Maybe actually get to go out to dinner once.
Yeah.
Maybe have a little bit of a nicer life as opposed to working 40 hours a week.
At the very least, you have more breathing room
to pay for this stupid mortgage.
Yeah.
So do the math right now. Not if you're driving, but think about this. When you get home, seriously, look at what you make per month gross before they take out the taxes or insurance or whatever they're taking out, and multiply it by 0.31. And if you are paying more than that for your mortgage, you're going to be in bad. It's going to be tight, guys. It's going to be difficult to make that payment, especially knowing that your neighbor is probably paying 3%. They probably owe less on their house. It's probably time to do something about it.
Sure.
And there are plenty of options when it comes to modification. So, look, if you find yourself already behind on your mortgage, or if you just think you're paying too much and you don't know what to do, I would always give you a free consultation. I would never charge you to come in my office and talk to me, whether it's Monday through Friday or Saturday. I'm always there. That's what I do. I'm happy to meet with you myself. 321-282-1055. My name is Justin Clark. If you want to talk to us on the air, feel free. We are live on a beautiful Friday night, and the phone number is 407-916-5400, or reach out to me on the website at www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. Now the question, principal reductions.
Uh-huh.
You ever heard of principal reduction?
Sure. Very hard to get.
Well, Justin, I owe $300 on my house and it's only worth $220.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I ever stay there? Why would the bank let me sell it to someone else for $220, but they won't reduce it to $220 for me? And the simple answer is this: they don't want to because they're afraid it's going to open up Pandora's box. It's going to start the domino effect where everyone's going to stop paying their mortgage because they all want to get a principal reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, I do occasionally see principal reductions.
Okay.
Never with Fannie Mae, never with Freddie Mac. They're not allowed to do principal reductions, but sometimes when it comes to private money, they will sometimes do a principal reduction, but do not bet on it. Yeah. They are very few and far between. I rarely see them.
Does it have to be some kind of a hardship situation?
Basically, or it has to be a situation where the federal government sued said bank, and the bank, instead of paying government money, says they're going to wipe away principal on a certain amount of houses.
Got it.
So that's the typical situation, is where the government has sued the bank, and the bank has to do principal reduction for some people. So don't bank on it. Principal reductions are few and far between. But again, if you love your house and you know you're going to be there for the next 10 or 15 years, and you're only $30,000 underwater, if you can get the payment manageable, you're going to pay more rent down the street. You're already happy at the house. It's your house. You put those cabinets in,
Yeah.
Stay. But you need to make the payment affordable. We are not house poor. so to speak. And that's what a modification does for you. So if you want to stay, don't let anyone say that you're stupid for wanting to stay.
No,
because
of course
it's
not.
normal. You have kids. They walk to school. You're happy there. You did all the work yourself.
A lot of memories in the house.
There's a sentimental attachment, and that's a very normal thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have options. The options start at my phone number, 321-282-1055. And I'm not going to get very much into bankruptcy, but I want to tell you a little bit about modification through bankruptcy as well. So modifications through the regular foreclosure crisis is it's difficult. They take a long time, but they do get done. We've gotten thousands and thousands done. But they created a program through bankruptcy. If you have a lot of other debt, you can do what's called the bankruptcy mediation, which is incredibly efficient, actually, and save your house that way, too. So you can actually file bankruptcy, get rid of all of your other debt, and modify your mortgage and make your mortgage payment lower all through the bankruptcy process as well.
And if you're in a foreclosure and it's coming up to the deadline, you can file for the bankruptcy, and that stops all the foreclosure process, right?
As we talked about earlier, the foreclosures are going much faster, not because of any legislation, but because judges are not giving us as much flexibility in extending them as we once did. I understand that. Look, I'm not blaming the judges. They're getting pressured to clear their foreclosure dockets. Okay? So I'm not blaming them. I know a lot of judges listen to the show. I don't want you to think I'm bashing you. I understand. I get it. You have a lot of other cases to deal with. The last thing you need is another 5,000 foreclosure cases on your docket. I understand.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, as a guy who's represented probably 10,000 people going through a foreclosure or bankruptcy, I also see the other side of it too. I do see that the bank screws them over and lied to them and loses their paperwork. So, when we do make those decisions, let's at least remember that the vast majority of these people still going through it are not deadbeats. And they really want to pay their mortgage. They just don't know who to pay or how to pay.
Just the average Joe trying to get through another day and save their house.
But the banks go faster. They do go faster than they went before. So let's say you're facing a foreclosure sale date. Let's not forget, if the foreclosure sale goes through, there's virtually no chance of saving the home after that day. You can file what's called an objection to sale, but it's not going to get granted in all likelihood. So if you let that foreclosure sale go through, you're essentially losing your home. You might have a month or two to get out, but you're no way to save it. Almost all foreclosure sales happen at 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. If you were to file bankruptcy at 10:58 a.m., it automatically stops that foreclosure sale.
Wow.
Stops it automatically. No matter what any judge says. It stops the foreclosure sale. It has to. And now we can regroup. Now we can try to save the home through this bankruptcy modification process, the bankruptcy mediation program, whether it's a 7 or a 13. We have the ability to modify the home through a 7 and a 13 now. The 7, you think you're just cashing in your chips. So we're done here. I can't keep anything. I'm just getting rid of everything. I'm just going to move under the train tracks or whatever. I guess you can't live under train tracks, but under the bridge.
Yeah. So a client has a deadline coming up for a foreclosure. They want to file a bankruptcy to save the house. They come see you, and you file the bankruptcy notice with who? The clerk of courts?
Right. Well, you file with the bankruptcy court, but then you also have to notify the circuit court where the foreclosure is going on, what's called a suggestion of bankruptcy.
And you take care of all that.
Of course we do. And then that automatically stops everything. And now we can regroup. Now we can really try to save the house the right way through the bankruptcy. Okay? So now we bought some time to really try to save the home, if that's what you want to do. I don't necessarily like it when people come to me and say they pretend like they're trying to save the home, but they're really just trying to buy a few free months. Like, let's file bankruptcy. I want to save it. I can kind of see through that. Normally, I don't get a lot of that. But I can tell it's someone who's just trying to buy a few free months in the home. And
sure.
I don't want to be that guy to the bankruptcy court who's filing stuff just to try to get a few free months. That's not what we're all about.
You want to make sure
we're going to do.
You want to make sure they're sincere and have a good case and a good reason.
You got that right.
Cause for reason, yeah.
And it's not too, as long as the sale has not gone forward. If you have a foreclosure sale on Monday morning, it is not too late to save your home. That's the beautiful part about the bankruptcy, especially in Central Florida. We have a fantastic mediation program. Some great mediators who do it, like Victoria Collins. There's some fantastic mediators here in Central Florida that are really going to help fight with us.